Now, I might be a few days too late, but you know, with family, honestly, you just gotta fit it in when you fit it in. But today we are going to go on a drive through Fort Collins as if I were going to be showing you, as somebody who's considering Fort Collins, Northern Colorado, the area, on our driving tour. And it's a great time to do it because sun is in the air. There's still some great fall foliage, a lot of colors. Now, the reason I say I'm a couple days behind is because we've had a little bit of wind, but it's October 21st when I'm shooting this. October 21st and nearly 70 degrees, 60 degrees. We had 70 degrees in the 10-day forecast, and I'm excited to take you through this. Now, it's essentially gonna be a driving tour, but I'm gonna have some voiceover as well, talking to you about different areas, as well as a map that really discusses the area we explored. I'm gonna go on a southwest journey up around Horsetooth, down through CSU, downtown, near the new Beglium Brewery, up southeast, and that is going to be the exploration. But I hope you enjoy the video, some of the scenery, and this is what it would be like if you were in our truck driving around. Now, my name is Patrick Wasukup with Fort Collins, or Living in Fort Collins YouTube channel. And as much as we like making these YouTube videos, we are licensed real estate agents in the state of Colorado. So if you're considering moving to the area and you want to go on a tour around Fort Collins or Northern Colorado, give me, my team, a call, text, or email. We would love to be an asset on your team and have really dialed in the process. But otherwise, I hope you enjoy this video driving through Fort Collins, a local's perspective. Have fun. All right, so technically we're gonna start out on the southeast side of Fort Collins because we're heading out of my neighborhood. And we're not gonna talk throughout the entire video because it's gonna be a long one. And the reality is while we were traveling in my truck, we're gonna be looking around the different communities. I'm gonna talk to you about different developments and all that good stuff. But during this video specifically, we're gonna separate it into sections, and I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about this. Now again, this is in my neighborhood, heading out. I'm gonna start heading on to the southwest, and we're gonna make a loop from there. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous that my GoPro was gonna fly off my truck, so I was pretty hesitant and kept my hand on it a little bit on this front end of the video. As we move along, probably about halfway through, I really just essentially started recording everything. But I thought like, hey, at the beginning, let's try to video only the exciting parts. But then I started traveling through kind of a less than desirable spot. And I was like, the last thing I want anyone to think is that I only showed the pretty parts. So at the beginning of this video, we kind of just roll only during specific time periods. So we'll go through, have a little bit more fluidity at the end of this video as well. So the reason I wanted to start on the southwest side of town is because, well, we're heading west. And as you drive west, you get to see the foothills. And there's just great colors throughout Fort Collins, but right here we're heading west on Harmony Road. So we're pretty far southwest. As you get further south from here on the west side of town, there's not much development. There's some pretty cool developments on the south side of town. Clarendon Hills, you've got Taft Canyon as well, but we're gonna head all the way west as we get to the Horsetooth Reservoir. So here we go. Alrighty, we are now making our way west. We are just coming up to the foothills. When my kids and I get to this kind of part in the road, we know that, hey, we can see the dam right in front of us, and we're gonna make this kind of twisty turn. And I can tell you, if you're a cyclist and you like to ride on the roads, well, one, I would recommend that you do it in the mornings, but two, this is what we call the dams ride. You can go from south to north or north to south, but as we go up this stretch right here coming up, it is a heck of a ride. And there are some great neighborhoods on the south side over here, Fox Hills, Fox Meadows, and just some really great areas. This is a determining factor of living on this side of town is that, hey, I wanna be close to the Horsetooth Reservoir, Lori State Park, Horsetooth open area, because you are just minutes from it with almost little to no stop signs. But we're gonna be heading up the mountain right here, and if you're on a bike, enjoy. But it is just an absolutely beautiful day. Now, Fort Collins has a drive-in movie theater, the Holiday Twin, and it's got just a great convenience, or not convenience, but a shop there that has been recently built and renovated. But we are now heading along the west side of town with Hughes Stadium to our left. We have got 160 acres that will soon be determined how we will use that space. Is it gonna be open field? Will it remain a disc golf course? Will it be a natural habitat, a BMX course? The city of Fort Collins is going to offer a community involvement project that may dictate the future of this project.
Now we are coming into the backbone of Fort Collins. You know, what Darren Atterbury called the backbone of Fort Collins, and I can't disagree with him. We're talking 35,000 students and over 7,000 employees, our largest employer. But we're heading east on Elizabeth. So right now you're basically gonna run straight into Moby Arena, and then you've got Canvas Stadium on our right coming up here. And we're gonna drive through a little bit of the dorm section. You're gonna see me veer off here just because I was like, no, there's a better route. And what I wanted to do was take you guys through Colorado State University, what the dorms look like. Again, that's Moby Arena, our basketball and volleyball arena here in front of us. And then we're gonna be taking a right onto Shields, which is kind of the west barrier of Colorado State University. To the left is some practice fields for soccer. We're gonna be heading down one of the roads here. I can't catch the name of it right now, but essentially this is kind of our dormitory row. Alrighty, now recently Fort Collins CSU, they built this amazing on-campus stadium, and here we have it right in front of us. It is absolutely beautiful, fits 35,000 some odd students and people to come watch those Rammies play every Saturday. Now we're having a pretty good season this year. It's 2024 that I'm shooting this, but it is gorgeous. In front of you, you've got kind of a New Belgium brewery patio, where people can go stand, and on the right is where the kind of families sit, and on the left is where all the students go. You've got some world-class boxes, but that is our CSU Canvas Stadium. So here we are turning on to one of the most known, well-known and loved streets in Fort Collins, Mountain Avenue. We are going to be heading east, and as you can see, there's a trolley, a median, with some great trees. There's bike lanes, bike paths on either side, really pretty wide streets. There are parking here, but lots of bungalows, hugely renovated houses. But this street right here is where our parades are, our 5Ks, where people really tend to come and gather when there are huge community events. One of the most well-known and loved streets. You are going to see that by way of the prices they can charge for some of these houses, but this is going to take you right down to downtown Fort Collins. We are just turning off of Shields, so we're approaching College Avenue, where you're going to have the St. Joseph's Cathedral on our left here coming up, but then you've got Otterbox to our right, and the intersection where addresses start at 0, College and Mountain Avenue. But just what a beautiful street, and just very loved here in Fort Collins. So we're on College and Mountain Avenue, point 0. And we've got the Avery to our left. That is the Avery building. It's just a great old Fort Collins establishment on College and Mountain Avenue. Now it's a beautiful, wonderful breakfast eatery. Now heading north on College Avenue, this is where a lot of our historic buildings are. Parking is going to be at a premium during those Thursday, Friday, Saturday evenings. And then we got the Northern Hotel to our right, which now is a senior living facility. And then right now we're at Walnut, what used to be kind of our northern border of Old Town. But as you can see ahead of us is the Exchange. And now we're turning right onto Walnut, and to our left we've got Silver Grill. Again, we've got the Northern Hotel. On the left, that is the building that has got a lot of interest from the Disneyland and some of the buildings and Harper Golf that's got some inspiration. And then to our right is Old Town Square. Beautiful flowers. They change out landscape throughout the year. And this is Mountain Avenue and Walnut, which they just did a transitionary street. So now they can shut this off for major events and make it walking only. But during the weekdays, they do allow vehicles and parking here. Wonderful restaurants and retails on both left and right. All right, on the right, we've got the Fort Collins Mission, which will be relocated here in the near future. And then we're moving up to the River District. We've got Ginger and Baker to our left, which renovated this really old farmhouse that has kept all of its charm and wonder. We've got the Confluence to our left right there. apartments and condos for sale, pretty expensive. Old El Burrito to our right, and as we move forward, we're gonna see a lot of development, redevelopment, and opportunities moving here into the future in Fort Collins. Because, well, why? We've got the River District, and then we've got New Beglium Brewery coming up here on our right, where there is people on Tour de Fat. This street is packed, and you can find yourself riding your bike here, going along the Pooter Trail, and ending up at our the godfather of microbreweries, New Beglium to our right. So here's where I actually was going to, cut off. But the one thing I don't want to do is mislead anybody. And yeah, we have got railroads along Vine Avenue, kind of more of an industrial area here. But there's a lot of development going on Vine as you get closer to 287. You've got the Whitewater Park that was developed there. You've got the Bohemian Foundation that own a few plots of land. But yeah, you've got a lot of kind of more industrial, railroady type areas here. And I didn't want to not include that on this video so that you can see, yeah, there's parts of Fort Collins. It's not that it's ugly, but maybe it's just not the most beautiful thing in the world. Now this is the Alta Vista neighborhood. I cut through here because ultimately I wanted to get to the overpass, and there are ways to go on that on Lindenmeyer Street, but this is kind of a cute little neighborhood, one of the most affordable neighborhoods in all of Fort Collins. That there are people that buy houses here for $350,000 to $400,000. And we had a client that closed on a house right here on the right. As you can see, beautiful new fence. They built a garage for $50,000. So there are people that are putting money, and then ahead of you, you actually see some new condos for sale at the Northfield development. But great little development, old school Fort Collins, but coming up here to the overpass of Fort Collins, which is really connected north to south, overpassing the railroad. And the street now that we're gonna come up to is Suniga, which has developments for review all over the place. This road is really a great connector of College Avenue all the way to Lemay Avenue. So coming up here, we are heading up to the overpass. We just went over the overpass, and we've got some great video here of our foothills. Just went over the railroads, and we've got a lot of development here on the north side of town. So coming up here is the Poudre Valley Hospital by UC Health. This is where I was born. This is where my kids are born. And this is one of the largest and biggest hospital in Fort Collins proper. We've got Banner Medical to kind of the southeast, as well as Medical Center of the Rockies, which is a world-class facility off of I-25. But in greater Fort Collins, proper Fort Collins, that is the hospital. We are turning onto Prospect Road here from Lemay. This is actually the gym that I go to on a daily basis. It used to be called the Fort Collins Club. Now it is called Genesis, which owns 3 different health gyms here in Fort Collins. On the left side actually is the neighborhood that my grandparents and aunts and uncles originally moved into, and on the right wasn't a health club, wasn't an apartment complex, was actually a sheep farm. And so you can imagine waking up to that and now having all of this here. We've got Adora Park off to our right. Definitely kind of an OG of parks here in Fort Collins. Parkwood East just to the north of that. Indian Hills, some great neighborhoods in the area. Alrighty, so coming up, we've got a lot of development along Timberline Road. We've got Jessup Farms and Bucking Horse off to our left. And then we've got, we've got the police station off to our right. Now we do have the Larimer County Jailhouse that is behind Bucking Horse, so something to take into consideration. But here it is coming up. We've got a world-class police station, and coming up to Timberline and Drake, which is kind of a cheat code when you go off to the left, but we're gonna head straight so that you guys can kind of see a little bit more of Fort Collins. And here is my alma mater, Fort Collins High School, to our left. You can't see it great, but this is coming up to Timberline and Horsetooth. Off to our right is actually Madwire. They put in $1 million plus on 100,000 plus renovation right before COVID, but it is one of our tech entrepreneurs and employment opportunities for tech marketing in Northern Colorado and Fort Collins. So we are coming to really the eastern border of Fort Collins, along Horsetooth at least. Strouth Lakes development's going on right there, but this is a roundabout that's connecting and will bring you to the southeast side, really get you right to Harmony Road and I-25, so it's very quick access if you're having to take I-25 on a regular basis. But coming up here on our right side, well, right here onto our right is English Ranch, and then Woodland Park to our left. Two great neighborhoods for sure. HP, Broadcom, and Intel is going to be coming up on our left. And then the Front Range Shopping Village is going to be coming up on our right. You've got Target, you've got sushi, Mary's Mountain Cookies, Dazbog Coffee. It is a great shopping center on the southeast side of town. So we're coming on the far southeast side of town. You've got a little bit further east to go on Harmony Road, but really, you know, when I was in high school, they built Fossil Ridge High School, and I was like, what are they doing? This is so close to Fort Collins High School. But there's been a ton of development out here, and there will continue to be more. Technology Park to our left, I-Center of Northern Colorado right there. And then the $100 million community center is going to be right here on this corner, and it's going to be here in the next 5 years. 3 lap lanes, pools, community center, front Fossil Ridge High School to our left, as well as Twin Silo Park. So you can imagine what a desirable place this southeast side of town is. Observatory Village to our left as far as development, Fossil Lake Ranch as well. Now this is Kinard Middle School. This is a core knowledge school, and it is not a neighborhood school. You do have to school of choice into it, so you do have to apply. So make sure if that is something that you're interested in, that you get on top of that right away. But to our left, Fossil Lake Ranch, up in front of us, Black Timber built these townhomes recently, but this is Kechter Farm. Now I bought a house in West Chase in 2013, and this was purely just a farm, all farmland. And now Toll Brothers built this development, and there are price points from the mid 600s to all the way to 2.5 and above. Wonderful houses, a great community center. This is one of the few that has kind of the community center pool in Fort Collins. You'll see a lot of that in Timnath, not a ton of that in Fort Collins, but here to our right, that is exactly what you have. Now this was recently built in Fort Collins as well, and actually one of the big reasons I thought this was a good investment for us in West Chase was this Mormon temple. They spent $1 million on one room renovating it. It's one of two, it used to be one of only two temples in all of Colorado, so I felt like, hey, there's always gonna be somebody interested in buying this house. This road is also Trilby, which is an interesting road because while yes, it doesn't necessarily hold true for the entire street, you can essentially take that on the right side is Poudre School District, on the left side is Thompson Valley. Now we are heading north on Timberline, and we've got some developments that are occurring right here and probably more to come. Lennar just recently broke ground to our left, and then we have DR Horton as well as Dreamfinders up here as well. To our right is West Chase, and to our left is Linden Park, two great neighborhoods in southeast Fort Collins. And then as on our right side, you will see Bacon Elementary, great school here on the southeast side of town. our left here is Cinemark, and you got Old Chicago, Cold Stone Creamery, a nice little shopping center on the southeast side of town. So if you're living on this part, you're not too far away, but you do, and then you do have the Front Range Village, again, relatively close. So you do have some commercial options, and then we've got Harmony Road coming up right in front of us. So we are turning onto Harmony Road. This is our major commercial artery heading east and west in Fort Collins. 287 heading north and south, but Harmony Road, this is absolutely what's going to be connecting you, what you're going to be getting on the most to get onto I-25, but it definitely will see a lot of traffic as well, especially during quote unquote rush hour at the beginning of the day and end of the day. All right, our time together is coming to an end, and we've got some great views coming up. This is probably one of my favorite views in all of Fort Collins, and I am lucky enough to see this on a daily basis. Fall colors coming up over this ridge and looking down into the valley. Now, this video does not do it justice, but it is gorgeous. Looking at all the colors, seeing to the left, we've got Elizabeth Ann Seton, which is a Catholic church, Fossil Creek Park up here on our right. And this is what I get to look at every day driving home. And whether that's summer with everything being absolutely green, fall with all the leaves changing, or even during winter, you know, it's got some great light shining down on it. So you do have South Ridge Golf Course off to our left, but at this point in time, our time together is coming to an end. You've really got a perimeter view of Fort Collins, Colorado, and now we're gonna finish this drive off and jump into our goodbyes together.
So about 1 hour and 10 minutes to get all the way around Fort Collins. As you can see on the map, I basically did the outer perimeter, but wanted to get through some of the cool points of interest in Fort Collins, and that would really be a similar drive as I would talk to people about developments and things that are happening and neighborhoods and things that I like and don't like about certain areas or proximity to things. But that is Fort Collins on a mid-October day, October 21st. By the end of the drive, it got to be about 70 degrees. We started out about at 60. It was a little windy. We got some really decent foliage shots, and at the end there, that is one of my favorite views of Fort Collins, Colorado. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment what you liked best about Fort Collins. Now, there's a lot of people who are watching these videos who are not subscribers, so please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you're considering moving to North, just cut off there a little bit. You know, it was a good day of filming when you expired the GoPro battery. Now, again, it was only an hour and 10 minutes, but like I was saying, if you're considering moving to Northern Colorado, give my team and I a call, text, or email. We'd love to be an asset on your team. And until next time, thank you for watching. Take care.